Looks like it's now 11 o'clock. Good morning and thanks to, or afternoon. Good morning and thanks to everyone who is able to join us today. My name is Katie Stallcup and Chris Parlett is on as well. We're with Perc McLeod. If you're not familiar with Perc McLeod, we are a turbonomic company and where turbonomic is focused on application resource management. Perc McLeod is really laser focused on cost optimization and taking immediate action to optimize your cloud spend. So we're going to talk about that a little more here today on some key impactful things you can do to optimize cloud spend and reduce your cloud bill quickly. This is part of Turbonomic's daily COVID readiness series. So on Friday, we had the session on capitalizing on cloud elasticity. We're going to build on that a little more today. There's also a whole group of these from last week that are on demand you can watch. And then we're going to continue throughout the rest of this week, sharing ways that IT departments in different industries are responding to COVID-19. We're going to cover insurance, healthcare, government, education. So make sure you join us for those as well. So if you could go ahead and answer the poll here on why you are joining us today. One, expanding my professional development with related topics. Two, have an initiative in process and need answers quickly. Or three, researching now to support an initiative in the coming weeks. So we'll give you a minute here to answer the poll and let us know why you're joining. And Chris, you're seeing that poll, right? How about now?
Yep.
Okay. All right. We'll give you another second to answer that and let us know why you're joining today. Okay. So it looks like quite a few people are here to expand professional development and a few have initiatives in progress. So, you know, we're happy to help you out with that. Okay, so as far as the challenges that IT departments are facing right now, there's a lot of pressure to reduce costs quickly. We have had a lot of people coming to us here at Perc McLeod saying, I need to reduce my cloud costs immediately, and I don't have a lot of time to do it. Demand on infrastructure is changing, and a lot of people are finding a lot of higher visibility into their expenses right now. So there's really a lot of eyes on this, and costs need to be reduced. At the same time, many of us are working with remote teams, so any changes to operational procedures need to be accessible and easy to access for all of your users. They also need to be able to be customized by your users and easy to deploy and communicate with your team. And of course, all of that is with unique time constraints. Any timelines that we've planned for this time period have gotten thrown out the window. Anything you're doing right now needs to be provable that it's worth the time you're spending on it, all through facing unique challenges. So to that end, we're going to talk a little bit about Perc McLeod. Perc McLeod is a SaaS product focused on cost control, and we will give you a demo in a moment here. This is something that you can try out to see if it will be able to reduce your costs quickly. And I will go ahead and mention that we have a free forever tier. We have a free trial. So this is something you can certainly try and see if it will help you reduce your costs. So what Perc McLeod actually does, it connects to your public cloud infrastructure in AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud, and looks at your utilization history to find opportunities to actually take action and reduce your costs. That's through scheduling resources to turn off when they're not needed, such as non-production resources, nights and weekends. Also finding places you can right-size resources to better meet the actual needs. And that can reduce costs by 65%. As far as rolling this out to remote teams. So Perc McLeod has an easy to use self-service UI on-demand SaaS product, and it's all governed with role-based access control. So once you connect all your users, you can make sure that they only have access to the resources they should actually have access to. And this is something that can be done even if you just have limited time. Many users can get their free trial set up within 15 minutes. It's just a simple role that you set up to give access with your cloud provider. And then you can take a look at our recommendations, apply them as needed, and set up automation policies so you can have those applied automatically in the future without spending a lot of time on it. So just to show that this is something that can actually be done very quickly, this is an example of a customer we worked with recently. They're a technology provider focused on aerial imagery, and they found themselves in an urgent situation to reduce costs. They were given the directive to reduce costs. They learned about a trial, got a demo of Perc McLeod, and got started all within a 3-day period. So within those 3 days, they were able to connect, learn about it, connect to their AWS accounts, and found over $1 million in saving recommendations through scheduling and right sizing. So they could easily click to apply those or apply them automatically with policies. They were able to roll it out to their team globally through role-based access control. All of their users have self-service control to access their resources as needed and to apply their own cost control actions. And rollout continues across, I think they have 25 AWS accounts, so those savings are continue to add up. So let's show you what we're actually talking about. Chris is going to go ahead and give you a demo here.
Cool, thanks, Katie. Let me go ahead and share my screen here, and I'll pull up the Perc McLeod interface. So hi, everyone. I'm Chris Parlett. I'm the Director of Cloud Solutions here at Perc McLeod. So I work with customers to get them up and running, help them save some money, give them recommendations on how they can, cut some infrastructure costs off their cloud bill. So what you're seeing here is our Perc McLeod reporting screen. I like to show this first just because it really highlights that we're really focused on cost savings. That's really what we're trying to do here. And the main way we do this is by parking systems. So that's turning off generally on nights and weekends, but basically turning off things when you don't need them. And then we also will do right sizing as well. So those are the two ways we save money. We do this through either letting administrators come in and automate things, or you can allow users to log in and just kind of manage their own systems. They can have very limited access to what they need. And so you can kind of give that level of access to those users as well. Now, what you're seeing here on our reporting screen, it highlights a couple of things. One is we are multi-cloud. As Katie just mentioned, we work with AWS, Azure, Google, and Alibaba Cloud. So if you work with any of those, we work with those systems. We can also pull in multiple accounts from each of those. So we just call those cloud credentials, but that really just means AWS accounts, Azure subscriptions, Google projects, Alibaba accounts. As you can tell, nobody can agree on the naming scheme. So we call those cloud credentials. And then we also have this idea of teams throughout the product. So a team is sort of like a business unit or a project, or maybe it could be dev and test or different teams. Maybe it could be different groupings of servers, so however you want to divide things up. But this helps for reporting. It also helps for that role-based access control. So each user can only see the teams they're a part of. So we'll show you how to automate those team setups, but that's kind of how you can kind of divide things up. Now, as Katie mentioned, we're a SaaS platform. So no installation is needed, no agents are necessary. Basically, you just create a limited access role within your cloud provider. So you can see here, there's a wizard, so you can step through. They're all relatively the same. Basically, it's just a limited access role. So it's an IAM role in AWS, limited access service account in Azure, similar things for Google and Alibaba. So you basically set this up. Once you have that going, we do a discovery every 5 to 10 minutes just to pull in the list of those resources. So as I come in here, you can see there's a whole list of servers I have in here. These are servers, databases, scale sets. So those are kind of what we work with today. And then we're just adding in Kubernetes cluster support. So EC2 servers in AWS, but Azure VMs, and then RDS databases, things like that. So you can see I have a bunch of stuff in here. So I can click into any of these and see details like, let's see, there's a server here. I can see IP addresses, tags. I can see storage information. I can see volume, snapshots related to the server. So I can see all my server details here. This is just information we get from the cloud provider. So I can pull all of that in here and see all of that from here. And then what I can do is as I scroll down here, you can see I have a bunch of stuff in here. I can actually come down. These on-off switches you see here, they do work. So I can click on these and I can turn things on or off. So I don't have to go to the Azure console or the AWS console to toggle my systems off and on. I can do it from here. And then I can start doing the scheduling. So if I click this calendar icon right here, here's where I can choose one of my pre-existing schedules, or I can create a new schedule. So if I do choose a new schedule, this is where it asks me what time zone I'm in. And then I can choose the hours I want the server to be off or on. So as I kind of mentioned earlier, the typical use case, at least for getting started, is going to be turning off your non-production servers. So things that don't need to be on all the time, like dev, test, QA, staging. You can turn those off on nights and weekends, and that saves 65% just by doing that. So that's a really good first starting point. Now, if you have users in multiple time zones, you can always, make these wider so you can kind of go across the different time zones, or you can, build in some maintenance windows if you have patching or backups that need to happen overnight. So let's say Wednesday, midnight, I need to have all these servers up and running so I can run some backup services. I can do all that from these schedules right here. So this makes it really easy to be flexible about what time you're turning things on, turning things off. And it's an easy use interface for you to kind of create these schedules and map this out. Now, a lot of times when I show this to end users, developers, anyone who's going to be using the servers, or even if this is in your own personal environment where you have some AWS servers that you need to manage, you might be saying to yourself, well, okay, you're going to turn my servers off. Now, what if I need them? What if I need things, I'm working late one night or working over the weekend? So what happens is if you have a server, let me find a good example here. So down here, I have so this is let's find one. Here we go. This is a group here that I have. And so it's off right now, and it has a clock icon, which means the schedule is attached. And the schedule is to have it parked all the time, turned off all the time. If I need the server, I can actually click on the on toggle switch here, and it asks me how long I need it for. So if I need this, let's say I'm working late tonight, I need this for 4 hours. I could say maybe until next Monday morning if I'm running some tests. But if I click this, it turns the clock red, meaning it's being overridden. So the schedule is still attached. It's just not being enforced right now. So I can turn it on, I can use it, I can do whatever I need to do. And then at the end of the override, it just goes back to the original schedule. So that makes it really easy to have this kind of on-demand access that you're used to with the cloud, but you're defaulting to cost savings. So you're defaulting to those schedules, but you can always override them as you need to. And again, you can enable users to log in here and override just certain schedules, just see certain things. You can also use our API. So everything you see me do in the UI is all API driven. So you can make REST API calls. We also have integrations with like Slack and Microsoft Teams. So if you're using Slack, we can actually send messages to Slack or to Microsoft Teams. We can post messages saying, hey, in 30 minutes, we're turning off your servers. Here's a list of servers we're turning off. And if you run a Slack bot that communicates with our API, you can actually respond to that bot and say, hold on, I'm still using the server, extend it for an extra couple hours just so I can keep using it. And I can then, keep going on about my work. So having that kind of flexibility and plugins to your existing tools is really great. We also have plugins to single sign-on providers so that when users log in, they can just sign in through Azure AD is a common one, or Okta, Centrify. So we work with anything SAML-based, so that makes it really easy for users to log in. And then, as I mentioned, users can be a part of multiple different teams here. So I'll show you this user here. He's a team member. He's on the dev, staging, and legacy apps teams. So when he logs in, he doesn't see test QA, he doesn't see ERP, he doesn't see global trading. He just sees the servers that are on the teams he's a part of. So I can kind of divide things up and set things up that way. Now, what most people end up doing as far as assigning servers to teams is they'll use our policy engine. So this really goes to that automation point where I can actually read in the tags from the servers, for instance. So any AWS tags I'm using, Azure tags, Google uses labels. So we can read from those, or even the names of the servers, what region it's in, what account it's in. So for instance, I have a policy here that says if my Azure or AWS account is called SAP, and any of the servers have a tag of SAP equals true, then I'm going to automatically assign my SAP schedule I've created, and I'm going to automatically assign it to the SAP admins team. So now anyone on that team can automatically see any new servers I create that have had that tag and that were in that account. So this kind of automation really helps me default to cost savings. I personally have an AWS account that I've set up with this. And so anytime I spin things up, I just automatically put a 9 to 5 schedule on it. So that way I can just have things, just up during the day, just turn it off at night. and I don't have to worry about it. Remember to turn it off when otherwise 2 weeks later I forgot about it and whoops, I just wasted a bunch of money. So by having this automation is really good. One of the last things I want to show here is we also pull in metric data from the cloud providers. So in AWS, that's CloudWatch. In Azure, that's Azure Metrics. In Google, it's Stackdriver. Again, nobody can agree on names. But so what we do is we'll pull in that data. So I'll scroll down here so you can see this is a heat map of CPU utilization. So we're pulling in CPU, network, disk, memory if you have the CloudWatch agent installed. So we can pull all this information in here. You can kind of tell from this heat map, the servers generally use 4 a.m. my time to about 2 or 3 p.m. my time. Now, what we do is we'll generate a schedule for you based on that data. So I can make this a little more aggressive. I can make it a little more conservative, but this is automatically generated. So I can get this kind of recommendation. And by looking at this, I can say, okay, I could save $200 a month by applying this kind of schedule. Or I could ignore it and give a reason why. So we have this kind of listing in here. So, and if you have things divided up into teams, when I'm looking at this list, I can actually, very quickly filter this down, see which teams could be saving more, which groupings of servers could be saving more. So this really highlights, again, the automation, the pulling in of the data, having be metric based. But really it's all about cost savings from parking, from right sizing, and letting your users log in here and do that. So I know that was kind of a quick overview. I just want to, make sure to highlight that we are it's a SaaS platform. We have that free trial here. And also a free tier, free forever. So if you want to use it for your personal stuff, just to kind of save some money, if you want to try it out with your corporate account, you can try that as well. But we're just here for you to help save money, turn off things that you don't need, really stop wasting that money on stuff that's just running out there, the infrastructure that's running that you may not really need running all the time.
Great, thanks, Chris. So we are here to help you save money. So to that end, if anyone would like to meet with some of our cost savings experts, we're here to help you. I've just launched this poll. Let me know if you're seeing it this time. Seems like there's an issue with the polls. So let us know if you'd like to meet with a Perc McLeod expert. We'd be happy to go through your cloud infrastructure with you and look for opportunities for savings, both ways that Perc McLeod can save and other ways. We work with companies using these public clouds every day. So we have a fair amount of tips in our toolbox. All right, so thank you. So we'll go ahead and end this poll. And in addition, as I mentioned, we have these additional webinars coming up through the rest of the week. We're going to be doing these at the same time most days. So the next few are going to be focused on different industries, including insurance, healthcare, government, education. So go ahead and let us know if you'd like to be pre-registered for those, and we'll send you an email when they're about to start. So you can go ahead and access them. Just make sure to click, or you can click all of the above. All right. Well, that's it for now. So thank you everyone for joining us. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, everyone.